tight racing here with Rusty's two cars now running side by side.
Yeah, I'm not liking watching that either.
Close your eyes then. We'll let you know. That is Brendan Gaughn in the 62 right in front of Steve Wallace.
You know, had some shots of Brendan's air dam there, and he's got big chunks knocked out of it. And I think he drove over that debris from Kelly Byers, debris coming out of the front of his car.
Definitely got a few gaps in that front valence.
Let's check into 11th and 12th place as you got Michael Annette side by side with the 62 of Brendan Gaughn. And here comes the 19-year-old James Busher right behind Gaughn. Brendan Gaughn, our biggest mover since the start of the race. He has now picked up 15 positions as he has worked his way into the 11th spot.
And Brendan will tell you, I'm from Las Vegas. I'm supposed to run like this.
Me too, because Brendan Gaughn grew up in this area.
But this particular situation right here, guys, side by side, coming off of turn 4 like they were a lap ago. Andy, that is the spot I don't think you want to be in, especially if they're lower car. A lot of guys spin on the bottom, and we know turn 4 is really treacherous.
Yeah, it's definitely a vulnerable spot to be in.
The 66 car of Stephen Wallace has had a solid run so far. His complaint about the race car has been that turning in the middle of the corner, just a little bit tight. But Stephen and teammate Brendan Gaughn having a good run today here at Las Vegas, Vince.
Well, in the 15th,
Stephen Wallace in front of that group in the 66 alongside of the 22 of Brad Keselowski. And again, Stephen looking for his 5th straight top 10 dating back to last year, Dave.
And Marty, it's amazing when race cars do what they were supposed to do. When he radioed in to Crew Chief Scott McDougall, he said, you know what, it was a little bit loose at the start, but it really came to me. That's exactly the way these cars work these days. A little free to begin with, hard to handle, but then they come to you as Brian Vickers goes for that spot on Carl Edwards. Steve Wallace's car did exactly what he wanted to. No changes on that stop for the 66.
You're watching Steve Wallace and Justin Allgaier there. Tight race there.
That is side by side for 7th position.
I was about to say, it really taught these guys where they need to restart when it comes down to the money lap, the last stop.
Well, we are just about 3.5 laps away from, in fact, now 3 laps away from the halfway point, and this race being official. I can tell you that off to the west, it is looking pretty gloomy. But this race will be official before that rain ever gets here. And there's Brendan Gaughn as he is in. He peeled off in 15th position.
Car's loose, putting that track bar down. See that?
Yeah, they're not giving up a lot here. They were already back there in those spots, so they can come in and get tires, and they'll be sitting in the catbird seat if it does go back green here after a delay.
A lot of gambles on that last pit stop. 2 tires, 4 tires.
Denny Hamlin going underneath Stephen Wallace. That is for position. That's the battle for 9th. So that updates you on those 2 cars while all this action continues out on the track. That's Allgaier in 8th with Stephen Wallace all over him. View back from Stephen to Denny Hamlin.
Just really amazed about how much these guys are in the throttle all the time and not rolling out. We don't see this at a lot of racetracks.
Yeah, this track has so much grip, and the tire they brought here just matches up so well that they really do have a lot of grip. They can hold that throttle almost on the mat all the way around.
You know, I shouldn't say what I'm about to say, but we saw a lot of wrecks off of turn 4 last year here. And Goodyear seems like they bought this new tire back. It's got a lot more grip. And we're just not seeing the problems we saw last year off of turn 4, guys.
Well, one of the things that's happened, the track has aged some, and it has lost grip and allowed Goodyear to come back with a little softer compound, and that combination has been a lot better for the teams.
Headed for the garage one more time. Battle right now between Brendan Gaughn and Justin Allgaier. These guys were duking it out for Rookie of the Year honors. Boy, I tell you what, look at Allgaier, man. He loves this racetrack.
It's a good day for Justin Allgaier. I mean, every now and then people have cars that are great. The next week, they're not so great. Today, he's got a great car.
Leader going past into turn number 3. Edwards lead now up to 9/10 of a second. Go back a little further in the pack, and then you could see the 38 of Jason Leffler. That's with Biffle for 13th position.
Those guys were 3 wide off of turn 2 just then.
And here's
stuck somehow.
Well, and here's Brendan Gaughn side by side with Stephen Wallace. And remember, Brendan did not pit, so those older tires are starting to haunt him right now as he has dropped back from the race lead. He is right now in 11th and under attack.
Well, Brendan had that fender damage on the left front. He pretty well had to stay out and do what he did to maintain that track position. These guys are all setting up for this last pit stop, which is going to be the money stop for sure.
Well, whoa, and look out. Nice recovery by the 62 of Gaughn. And it looks like Menard's going to take control of the spot. And creeping back into the top 10, the 66 of Stephen Wallace. He's right behind them.
Now you can see how critical that pass was for Harvick. You know, if he could have cleared that 99 car, he would have been in front of Edwards and Kyle Busch. And the way it worked out, he wound up behind them. So didn't work out as good as he wanted it to.
Battle for 10th. Stephen Wallace trying to run this streak to 5 straight races into the top 10. Ooh, he got a little twitchy. Here comes Greg Biffle trying to take advantage of it. Paul Menard's already gotten around. Here comes Biffle, and the 38 of Leffler wants a piece of it as well.
Boy, Stephen had a big run in turn 3 and 4 there and got a little loose in the bottom of that track, and that's what you got to watch for.
Here comes Stephen trying to get back into that top 10 again as he is caught back up to Paul Menard.
And that right there is such a touchy spot.
Yeah, you need to be careful. We saw Brian Scott now lose his car underneath Paul Menard earlier. So you got to be real careful in this position not to get your car too loose.
Side by side through the corner. Leffler trying to get back into that battle as well.
You see Stephen wiggle a little bit right there.
Now don't rough him up.
He needs to use his head right here now.
Getting mad, you know, so he's got to watch.
He's getting frustrated, but he needs to use his head right here.
Here comes Leffler. And Biffle's just sort of sitting back watching all this saying, I'm going to let you guys sort this out for a second. Whoa. A little side rub between the two. A little bit. The 16. Oh, Colin Brown into the wall hard. Our 8th caution of the day, and I don't know if he got help.
66, get me or what?
He was 10th
for sure,
on the restart. Tony Raines also looks like he may have some damage in this. Colin looks like he's able to get it at least fired to get back. There we go. Whoops. Yeah, it looks like Stephen may have gotten into him a little.
He definitely got a nudge from Stephen.
Let's go on board.
Inside Paul Menard, we know that's the place that...
38 tight to you. It's your door. Easy, easy. Go, go, go.
You're loose there anyway.
Come on.
Can't hardly stand any contact right there in that situation. It's... Amazing, it did take out more cars. See, Tony Raines does get spun around.
And he gets a little damage on that right side. What this means with Colin now crashing out, all 5 of our rookies have crashed in this race today. A little bit further back, the 66 of Stephen Wallace running in 9th. Here's that battle we talked about for 8th position as Paul Menard gets underneath Stephen Wallace. And here comes Stephen right back on the high side. Remember, Stephen going for his 5th straight top 10 finish dating back to last year.
Yeah, Paul Menard's done a great job this year. Had to buy his way basically into the first race of the year when they didn't get to qualify at Daytona. But he's made the most of it. He's been one of the top cars.
Well, and remember, he was a full lap down earlier in this race, but we've seen that before here at Las Vegas.